Da. And this is Yosef ben Yohanan Ish Yerushalayim. So one could suggest that they didn't want people to get mixed up, especially they learned Mishnayot, and then there's a shiur in Mishnah, right? A shiur in Mishnah at 9 o'clock. So people that study Mishnayot, Baal Peh, so it's different. Make sure you know this is Yosef ben Yoezer and this is Yosef ben Yochanan, in order not to confuse the names. But then it's not the same name anyway. So why isn't it good enough just to say Yosef ben Yoezer and Yosef ben Yochanan? I'm not saying what I'm saying is pshat, but this is what I feel. Is it possible that when a person is teaching, when the Rav, when the Tana, when the great rabbi is teaching, a teaching about chesed, a teaching about achlasat orchim, teaching about hospitality and generosity and sensitivity and kindness, is it possible he's identified as Ish Yerushalayim, the rabbi of Jerusalem, the man of Jerusalem? Because that's the essence of Yerushalayim. It's not just, it happens to be that the person teaching all about keeping your house wide open is the Ish Yerushalayim. That's what Yerushalayim is. Yerushalayim is the place where the house is open. Yerushalayim is the place where aniyim, where poor people should feel as if they're b'nei veitecha. Yihi beitcha patuach l'rvacha. Maybe that's the essence of the personification and the embodiment of the real spirit of Yerushalayim. And what does it mean? This teaching of the man of Jerusalem? Yihi beitcha patuach l'rvacha. Your house shall be wide open. The homes of Yerushalayim, they were wide open. They're still wide open. They will be wide open, Bezrat Hashem. You know, there were millions of Jews. Millions of Jews. I'm not exaggerating. Millions of Jews who came to Yerushalayim for pilgrimage festivals like Pesach, Shavuot, Sukkot. The whole nation came to Jerusalem. Did you ever ask yourself, where were the places to stay? Where did everybody stay? Where did they sleep? Where did everybody sleep when they came on Aliyah and the Regel? Everybody had to be there for the Paschal Lamb. Everybody had to be there. Where were their accommodations? Today, Baruch Hashem, we have hotels. Baruch Hashem, there are new hotels. And with all the hotels, if you have millions of people coming, Bezrat Hashem, let's say everybody decides to come for Chanukah. Millions of people in Yerushalayim. And Yerushalayim today is, they expand. Where do they sleep? Where do they eat? I think the answer is that Anshe Yerushalayim, that anybody who's part of Yerushalayim, anybody who understands what it means to be in Jerusalem, understands and understood that part of the privilege of being a resident of the holy city is that one has to rise to the occasion of catering to all of the people visiting Yerushalayim. And maybe Yosef ben Yohanan, Ish Yerushalayim, is teaching, open your home wide, because that's what everybody in Yerushalayim does. And then he says, open your home wide, and then V'yu aniyim b'nei veitecha, and let the poor feel as if they're members of your family. So I once learned, what's the connection between the first statement and the second statement? You can learn it's two different statements, related to a similar theme, right? Number one, make sure that you maintain an open house. Number two, make the poor people feel comfortable in your house. But I studied at least one interpretation. According to one Perush, it means if you want poor people to feel comfortable in your house, the teaching of the Ish Yerushalayim is, if you want Yiyu Aniyim B'nei Veitecha, you want poor people to be there? You want people to get into your house and feel comfortable in your house? Well, if your house is only going to be a home where poor people are invited, let's say you have a home for the poor, right? You have a home for the poor. It's beautiful. It's tremendously benevolent. It's great. It's such a high level, right? You have Aniyim. But will Aniyim feel comfortable coming there? Anyone walking into that house, someone will say, you know why they're going there? Because that's the house for the poor. That's the home for the paupers. That's the home for the destitute. But if Yihi beitcha patuach l'rvacha, if you will understand the teaching of Yosef ben Yochanan Ish Yerushalayim, who teaches, open your home to everyone, then Aniyim will feel, Yiyu Aniyim b'nei veitecha, the poor people will feel comfortable coming. No one will be able to identify that they're coming to your house because they're poor. Because you have wealthy people coming to your house. You have people who are well established coming to your house. You have all kinds of people coming to your house. So the aniyim will ultimately feel, I can come into such a house. And perhaps that's the reason why the Ish Yerushalayim, who understood the need to cater to everyone, he's the one that taught that the bayit should be patuach l'revacha and yiyu aniyim b'nei veitecha. I once heard, I believe it was the Sedegara Rebbe who said that one of the statements that's used in our literature for people who, when we're speaking about our father Abraham, who's looking for guests, it says that he was standing outside and he was looking for overim v'shavim. That's the term that's used. Over v'shav. I have the language exactly here somewhere. He says, Avraham Avinu was outside. L'rot im yesh over v'shav v'yachnisem v'veito. He wanted to see if there's anyone who's over v'shav. What does over v'shav mean? Over means passing by, over. And shav means to return. What's the language? What is this munach of over v'shav? So maybe over v'shav can be translated. He's passing by your house now, and after he's in your house, v'shav, he goes home to, he returns to wherever he's coming from. That's a possibility. The Sedegara Rebbe said, Abraham was so sensitive. He wanted to see if there's anyone who's over and shav. You know, there are some people who unabashedly can come to your house and stay there. But then there are some people, it's so difficult for them to have to knock at the door. It's so difficult for them to have to admit that they have nowhere to go. And so maybe they pass by, but after passing by, maybe they can't make it inside, so they're shav. They go back to where they're coming from. They're over and they're shav. They're over and they're shav. And Avraham, in the spirit of Anshe Yerushalayim, in the spirit of what we're learning about, of people who understand how to cater to the needs of people without causing them shame, which is part of the essence of Yerushalayim. The people who are careful never to shame a poor person, these are the people that are welcome in Yerushalayim. And these are the people, perhaps, of the Over Vashav. In the years that Baruch Hashem were in Yerushalayim, we've seen that there's so many different kinds of people. So many different kinds of people. From so many different backgrounds. Who for so many different reasons would love to come into your home. That's Baruch Hashem, when you establish your home in Yerushalayim. You know, we've had people, I think, the most unusual guest in our house, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. What happened was, it was once Shabbat afternoon, and I don't know if anybody here has been in my house, there's maybe 2 or 3 people, but so the house was filled with tables and chairs, almost from wall to wall. And it was very difficult to move around. And there were literally people from one wall to the other, all the way to the door, to the opening of the door. And I was sitting in a place where I more or less saw what was going on. And somebody comes to the door on a donkey. He's sitting riding a donkey. It's a true story. I mean, I don't know, he's gonna make up this. It's really very happy. He comes to the door, and the donkey, and you know, like, and there's panic in the room, like, what was it, a donkey, like that. So one guy starts screaming out. We have some friends who are very interested in the arrival of Mashiach, you know. So one person thought perhaps this is the donkey, the famous donkey of Ani Rochev Hamar. Maybe this is it, you know. Okay, he did. I mean, nobody knows what Mashiach looks like, so maybe he's Mashiach. Right? But that's it. This is on Shabbat afternoon, you know. I mean, it's not even when you ride donkeys. How many friends do you have that ride a donkey to people's houses for Shabbat meal? It's not a common. It only happened once in 30 years to us. It's not like every week we have people going by donkey, right? But this man on donkey, and there was panic in the room, and I had to play for a moment, you know, to calm everybody down. So who was this man? I don't know. You know, he heard there's a place that's open, and maybe open enough that the donkey, I don't think, could have fit through the room. Surely couldn't fit through the door with the amount of people in. Do you understand? When you live in Yerushalayim, someone once asked Rav Kook, Rav Kook